Okay, welcome back. We are week 10, lesson 3. This is our last lesson of this week, and we're going to just continue to talk a little bit more about personalized goal tracking and our personalized plan for healing. Also, the yard guys here mowing the lawn. I hope that's not really loud in your ears. Hopefully it's not picking it up. Okay, so creating your own personalized healing plan gives you structure and choice. And those are two things that chronic illness often tries to take away. So a personalized plan really helps reduce decision fatigue and builds a sense of rhythm. You don't have to wonder what to do each day. You've already decided with intention and care. So a plan that works long term is simple and flexible and most of all meaningful to you. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing the right things consistently. So think of your personalized healing plan as a living document that evolves with your energy, with your healing, and with your life. Your plan should reflect the whole you, not just your physical symptoms. Include something for the body, like movement or nutrition. Include something for the mind, like mindfulness or gratefulness or journaling or meditation. And include something that brings you joy or peace, right? And that can be whatever you want it to be. For some people, that might be prayer or connecting with friends or just taking some quiet time to yourself. And always include space for celebration, right? We talked a lot about that in our last lesson, that celebrating these wins, big or small, is really, really important. So let's talk about our daily practice of this. What are one or two small things that you can do most days to support your health? This might be 5 minutes of breath work or a little bit of stretching or just kind of checking in with your emotions. Keep it realistic. These are your anchors and your daily reset buttons. So this part's really foundational to creating your personal healing plan, is that you have some daily practices that you are practicing every single day till they just become habits. Each week, I would encourage you to also choose a SMART goal that feels meaningful, and then break it into those smaller actionable steps, right? And we had a worksheet to kind of help explain how to do that. So feel free to refer back to that. When you know your focus for the week, you are less likely to feel that sense of being scattered and overwhelmed and chaos. You're also a lot more likely to notice your progress, right? So when you're setting these really specific, time-based, achievable goals, then you know what you're working towards that week, and it helps keep you on track. And then, of course, you're able to kind of look back at the progress you made by achieving those things. So tracking methods. Choose one that feels easy. That could be, a journal, a printable sheet. I told you guys I like to just pen and paper. A lot of people like apps on their phone, stickers on a calendar, doesn't matter, whatever you want it to be. The goal is visibility, not perfection. So when you track, you show yourself that your effort matters, right? And even as you're tracking, the way you're doing this, it can be whatever you want. I make a list and I cross it off, and I find that really intensely satisfying. But talking about stickers, if you finish the goal, you put a sticker on that day, or you put a check mark on the app that you're keeping track of these things. Whatever works for you is the way to do it. So reflection, also important, and at the end of each week, I would encourage you to take 5 minutes to reflect on what worked well, what felt really hard and challenging. What might you adjust going into next week? Again, this is not about judging, it's about listening to your life and learning from it. A couple of things to keep in mind. No week will go exactly as planned. That's life, right? And that's okay. If you have a flare, adjust for that. Swap a 10-minute walk for 5 minutes of just deep breathing. If you're feeling exhausted, Your plan might change from, exercise to rest and hydration. A good plan also has a plan B, and that's where it's really important to listen to your body. So flexibility is not failure, it's actually wisdom. Okay, so let's talk about how we can commit to this plan with compassion. This is not a contract, it is a form of self care. You are not committing to perfection, you are committing to showing up as you are with what you can offer. And compassion is what turns a plan into a practice of healing, not pressure. It doesn't work that way. So let's take a minute here to discuss self-talk and how important it is in this process. So positive self-talk is the inner dialogue that supports and encourages and validates rather than criticizes. And it plays a profound role in healing from chronic illnesses. For individuals, especially women, those of us who are navigating autoimmune conditions, this internal language is not just psychological. It influences our physiology, our immune function, and our long-term health outcomes. So, in short, the big reason why this matters is it's that brain-body connection. The way we talk to ourselves, it affects how the brain interprets stress. So a lot of negative self-talk triggers the amygdala, the fight or flight, right? That's where you're going to see increasing anxiety, increasing inflammation, high cortisol levels, which really aggravates the symptoms of chronic illness and autoimmune disease. But in contrast, positive or self-compassionate self-talk activates the prefrontal cortex and the parasympathetic nervous system, which help regulate our mood and reduce stress and balance our hormones and just support that immune balance. There's a lot of research behind this to back this up. There was a study done in 2016 in clinical psychological science, which found that self-affirmation practices, which include positive self-talk, help to reduce stress responses and improve problem solving in chronically stressed individuals. And this shift is key in autoimmune management, where chronic stress can severely worsen disease activity. So it's not just made up stuff. There's a lot of science to support the importance of positive self-talk. Women with chronic illnesses often internalize feelings of guilt or shame and frustration about their symptoms. And this negative self-talk can lead to a cycle of emotional dysregulation and physical flare-ups. So, for instance, thoughts like, I'm lazy or I'm never going to get better, right? These things really elevate stress responses and discourage behaviors that support our healing. Just to give you a little bit more statistics, according to a meta-analysis published in Healthy Psychology Review in 2014, individuals who practiced positive self-talk or cognitive reframing were 40% more likely to adhere to treatment plans and engage in health promoting behaviors like sleep hygiene, movement, exercise, and self-care routines. That's pretty significant. 40%. 40% of people with positive self-talk adhered to their treatment plan better than those who are very critical. Positive self-talk is a huge healing tool. It's not denial, right? It's not positive toxicity. It is a way of relating our experience with curiosity and care. So again, these need to be phrases that really resonate with you, right? It's not about making something up you don't believe. So things like, I'm doing the best I can with what I have, right? Or I'm making progress every day. Or my body is communicating, not betraying me. I can meet this moment with kindness and compassion, right? All of these things can really regulate the nervous system and improve emotional stability and reinforce the mindset needed to sustain behavioral health changes. So I know I'm kind of going on and on here, but it's because I really want you to understand that this is not made up stuff. It's real. It's important. So one more study I just wanted to mention. It was done in 2018, published in Brain Behavior and Immunity magazine or journal, excuse me. And participants who practiced self-compassionate self-talk had lower levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines even after exposure to stress, right? That's huge. So it really points out that this has direct implications for autoimmune conditions where inflammation is a primary driver of symptoms. So positive self-talk, it's more than just a mental health technique. It is an immune regulating, stress lowering, behavior supporting tool for long-term healing. So it's really, really, really important. It fosters emotional safety, which is essential for physiological repair, especially for those of us healing from trauma and struggling with autoimmune conditions. So integrating self-talk strategies into our daily life can really help shift the healing process from survival to self-alignment. Okay, I know that was a lot to cover on that slide, but it's really important. So I'd like to encourage you to at least once a month kind of look back and notice what's shifted, what feels easier, what do you want to let go of going forward, or what have you been able to let go of. This ritual helps you stay present in your growth, and it's also a beautiful way to honor how much effort you've put into your healing, even when it's invisible to others, right? Again, this is a self-healing journey. So celebrating yourself and reflecting on these things and your progress is really most important to you. It's great when other people can see the work we're doing and congratulate us, but again, this is a healing journey that starts inside. It's an inside job. So just a reminder, your plan is yours. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's. In fact, it shouldn't, because it's for you and you are unique. It can grow with you. It can evolve with you. It can change depending on what you need. So just trust your body, trust your instincts, and trust that even on the hardest days, you are still on the right path. So I like to remind myself as I'm doing my own self-healing journey that this plan is mine and I get to grow with it, right? It's really an empowering statement there. So we do have a companion worksheet available that's just going to go over some tips for your personal healing plan and how you can really hone in on some positive self-talk going forward. So really enjoyed covering this section with you all, and I look forward to seeing you in next week. We're going to go into week 11. So see you then. Bye.